wallet is sobbing. I can hear it. I can hear it in the hall now. It is breaking down, crying.
It turns out that Attila, the arrogant so-and-so, he's got a fake hammer.
Oh, a fake?
Yeah.
Whoa.
As I say, dick.
Welcome to the Your Legions podcast, episode number 61. And this week we have a mystery to solve. We're being trolled by the Four Horsemen, and most likely Jeremy Gerard is behind it. But yeah, let's first introduce our hosts. It's with his beer. It's Malcolm Kennedy. How are you?
I am good. It
Yeah.
is a beer evening,
Is it?
which
Yes.
doesn't happen that often these days. Well,
yeah.
not doing this anyway.
I've got my Figura Obscura mug. Who knows what's inside? I'll leave that a mystery.
Absinthe.
Pure. And Rich, how are you?
I'm angry.
You're angry.
I did loads and loads of good research and prep and thinking for this episode, and then the Four Horsemen just screwed me over royally with their post earlier on today, with the lovely hashtag of
Not
all stars. It's like, well, F you then. That just scraps everything I've done previously. I went from fully prepared for this podcast to, oh my God, I don't know what's happening. So I'm angry.
So hope you enjoyed this week's episode. We'll talk to you next week. Episode number it's a crazy one. Probably would have been, in some ways, for our recording, would have been probably better if we recorded yesterday or didn't look at the internet today. On the other hand, we can maybe pivot on the fly a bit. What we are going to do this week, though, is we are going to look at that little pixelated image from the Mythic Legions Tactics game, fill in all the pixels with characters corresponding to the factions, corresponding to the colors. I will say straight up, to give my honourable co-host, Mr. Jones, some much-deserved credit. He guessed all the correct factions with the colours, and he had that in our message chat within an hour of him saying, right, I have time now, I'm going to have a look at it. So that was good. And then he had a bunch
Don't get me started on the colours. Four Horsemen trolled me again. I went out this morning going, there's only 2 Noble Bear and 5 Convocation. Amazing.
Yeah, I was out.
And then like an hour later going, oh no, sorry, we've got them the wrong way around.
Yeah, I was out and about today. You know, I had it was 2 nights ago, based on what Rich had done. I did a little PowerPoint so we could have it up on the screen. And if you want to see that, you can actually look at us on our YouTube channel. I'm trying to post all the episodes on the YouTube channel now as well, with the exact same audio you hear on the podcast. So just gives you another option. And it also gets it into YouTube Music that way as well. If you listen to your podcast and stuff that way, that's another handy way to get the podcast. But so I had that out, and then Mal sent the picture that Jeremy put up first today, where the colours were reversed. The blues were, so there was now 5. Was it Basilia, which was great for me as well, Rich, because my favourite faction. Yeah. And obviously great for you because it was 3 less Noble Bears. And you were like, right, I'm on it. I'm going to throw out a couple of characters and put in a few more, which was easy for Basilia because you just put them all in. All the other ones.
Yeah. Every one of them.
And then I was like, okay, will I get home in time to change her? Yeah, I'll manage it. And then half an hour later, it was like, oh, no, it's the other way around. So you did have it right. And all our stuff was right. But somehow Rich was even mad because of that again.
I was even angry at that, to be honest. That just tipped me over the edge because I'd been very smug and like, hey, it's hardly any Noble Bears. Woo-hoo. And then I got lots of people going, Rich, when they changed it. It's like, oh, okay, here we go. Guion seemed to take particular satisfaction in pointing out that it was now 5 Noble Bears rather than 6.
Yeah, I saw your comment on that post had where you said, something about, damn, I thought it was less bears, turn back.
Yeah.
And you had more likes on that comment than most of my posts. So that's an achievement in itself. Well, it's not really, to be honest.
I got an angry face from Stephen Busciotti on that comment as well, so that made me happy.
Oh, that's
Got one from me as well.
He's like, oh, I didn't see that, Mal.
Well,
It was probably the
I don't know
same
if it-
time as Steve, so he just prioritized
I don't know if
Steve.
it always sticks. There's been times I've liked something on my phone, gone onto laptop, and it's not there anymore. It's like, all right, fine.
Don't talk to me about Facebook. Somebody will, if we post something on our page or something like this, or I post something, and yeah, if somebody comments, and I always like to reply to the comments, especially on our podcast page. And somebody comment, and if 3 or 4 people comment around the same time, and you just get one notification, that's when you see one comment, and then I miss a load of comments. Unless you actually go in and check the whole post, and it's a bit nonsensical. I don't know. I guess there's a reason behind it that we don't know. We're just not smart enough. So I guess we're still going to go ahead and fill in those squares because that's fun. Then we will speculate a little bit on what we think it is. If it's not all stars, personally, I think it could be not all stars, but something like all stars. The same process where you do voting and that kind of stuff. What do you think?
Not all stars won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
We
all
will use this slideshow. We will, damn it. We will.
And next week we'll come back to you with the proper answer because they've said that more will be revealed next week. But maybe it's just more breadcrumbs and then we'll be running around circles. But to be fair, we're not going to podcast out of this, so I can't complain.
Oh yeah, we'll get at least 2 or 3 or 4
Yeah.
out of this, so they can, they can carry on, guys.
Better than us having to sit here and talk about Savage Crucible,
Shots by him.
Or hold on,
That
I'll
was
just
savage, John.
I'll just tune in to their live stream there. Sorry, no, I better tune it out. The audio wasn't quite listenable, so maybe next time, guys. But maybe they'll post. Yeah, I think they'll post a written post, so maybe I'll get the update that way. Not that I care, but Rich, you do care because you were in on the Kickstarter, aren't you?
Yes, it was good news that their figures will be arriving finally, because I have quite a few winging my way. My love of lizard men, so yeah.
Very good. Yeah, so I'll be excited for you, and we'll definitely talk about how the figures are and give an honest appraisal. Maybe it won't be quite as effusive as people posting in their group about how they're proud of them for cancelling a con appearance. You can turn a silk purse or a sow's ear into a silk purse, or you can polish a turd all that you like. Huh?
Yeah, basically what somebody should have just said with that post is, well done for not effing it up like AWOC.
Oh my. We're on it tonight, huh?
Yeah,
I'm
angry. I just said I'm angry. I am angry.
And angry Rich is content rich.
Yeah.
Just to add
Anyway.
a little balance to that. I think
Mal, yeah.
I think Primal Series 2 is looking absolutely spectacular. For AWOC, the Kickstarter they're doing.
It's Series 4, but I know what you mean.
Well, whatever it is.
Just needs a wash and a dry brush
Action figures
and the highlights.
I know, it depends if you're buying it. But yeah, if you want to make it mythic adjacent, then yeah, maybe so.
Excellent.
I have seen a couple of people do really good paint on jobs on them to make them look mythic adjacent. It has to be said.
No,
well,
I mean
certainly the heads anyway, maybe not the whole figures.
And that's not a criticism on the paint of the figures because they are the paint of the figures is good in for what they're trying for. I'm just kind of joking about how if we wanted to add it into mythics.
Yeah.
As annoyed as I am with AWOC, and everybody who listens to this knows how annoyed I am because I mentioned it once or twice. Those figures will still go quite well as Thundercat baddies. It's that sort of aesthetic. So the Super 7 Thundercats and them, they'll mix pretty well.
Is the Super 7 Thundercat still going or these days? Or
yeah, it's slowed right down, but it is still going. They finally announced all the all the main Thundercats now too. So worst case scenario, they stop it at this point. At least you'll get everybody.
Awesome. Okay, well let's get on to some maybe better news. So the first thing, point of order, and actually I know I mentioned this to you guys a while ago, but I am now in the process of ordering exclusive pins for our Patreons. I've decided that every single patron will get one on all the tier levels sent out, or if they're willing to wait till Legions Con, that might save me some postage, but we're going to do an exclusive colorway of the original pin design. I think that works out the best. And what I'm thinking of is a black background with silver and gold lettering, the two different words. You know, it's red and blue on the you see it there in the logo in the corner of the
Yeah.
screen. So the red will be silver and the blue will be gold on a black background. Sound good to you guys?
About the yellow.
Ah, we'll leave the yellow or see if the lady comes back about the yellow.
Yeah, cool. But sounds good. I like the idea of that. Little bit of a collector's item there for our Patreon.
Exactly, yeah. So that will be, the only way to get that will be as Patreon, or maybe if one of our Patreons gives you one or sells you one, which, do what you like. It's your pin. You can do what you like. So that's number one. That's our self-indulgent news. Number two is we should talk about the live stream that we should be doing soon for the giveaway of the sword, Rich.
The sword, absolutely. Just to confirm, it is a sword. Nothing else.
Attached to an amazing custom by Andy Spinks. And it's just been availability that has stopped us from doing this. But hopefully we'll get a little bit more availability. And we wanted to do it on a weekend so that more people could maybe join onto the live stream, given that even if we do it late in the evening, it's still probably working hours for a lot of, say, people in America. So on a weekend, more chance that people would be able to join in. And so we'll do a wheel for that. Maybe this weekend, we have to talk about after the recording, but I think this Saturday could possibly be a runner. But let's talk about that later.
And don't worry, everybody. As per the last live thing we do, there will be Rich Does Mythics drawings.
So. Oh yeah, we'll definitely have some fun stuff, including of course.
I think I've outdone with one in particular. I think I've actually outdone myself.
Oh my goodness!
It's both a work of art and truly dreadful at the same time.
And the best thing about these guys is Rich doesn't share them with us in advance. Like we are.
Oh no.
We are live reacting as well on the show to them. So yeah. And another thing is, to our patrons especially, if you ever want to send us a question around the show, if you're in our Discord, send it as a voice note. Then I can play it out on the show and we can answer it straight there. Then you kind of get on the show, which is kind of cool. Or if you're not on the Discord, you can still say DM us on Messenger or Facebook, something like this, and send us a voice note there. And that's a very cool way to get a comment in for the show. So that's something to think about. And if you have a funny story or just want to swear at Rich for his hatred of the noble bear, you should do that. Right. So there's a little bit more housekeeping out of the way. Now let's get on to the good stuff. So a couple of things that are going on in the community. First one I wanted to shout out is from our friend and wonderful patron as well, Chris James. So last year at Legions Con, Chris had a fodder swap. He kind of arranged an informal kind of, he brought his big box of fodder. I think a couple of other people brought theirs as well, and they'd kind of arranged it a bit in advance. And it was basically a free-for-all with swapping and trading bits of fodder. I definitely got a few little bits there from people. I didn't really have much fodder myself, but I managed to, I think I paid a few dollars or whatever for fodder if you don't have something to trade. So
I thought you can admit to stealing a load there, John.
No, absolutely
I had no fodder, but I did pocket quite a few things, and it was great.
No, it was amazing, this stuff. Like, especially if you're like you, Rich, and I guess me and Mal to an extent as well, we're big into our customs, me more from the painting side of it. You, especially Rich, from building customs, you know what parts are rare or hard to get, or if you're missing them, it's a pain in the bum to kind of track down. And you can see stuff like that there, and it's it's the easiest way to get it. If you're there, so bring a little box fodder. If the stuff you don't, just throw it into the bottom of your luggage. Bring it along. If you're traveling not by plane to Legions Con, just put your fodder box in the boot of your car, and this is an official thing now as well. So Jeremy has made it an official part of the con. Sorry, and it's going to be in a special after hours event. The Wolf King himself, Len LaGuardia, will be combined into it with his pop and swap event. So if you went to Len's event previously at Legions Con, you know that that's a very cool thing. So you learn how to pop and swap, to do the kind of different stuff with the figures. Even 3D parts, what goes with figures, how it works, and you'll be truly on your way to becoming a lazy boy customizer, which we all want to be, as well as some of us want to be the non-lazy customizers but still be lazy. So it's a tricky balance. But Chris is very excited about it. There'll be more near to the event, but definitely something to think about. And I think something that all three of us will be sticking our noses into. I'm sure you can fit some fodder into that suitcase, Rich, or the second one.
Oh, I'm sure I can bring a little bit with me, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I might bring mythic stuff to replace with cosmic stuff.
That's that's an excellent way of doing it. Yeah, if you want to, say you had a couple of mythics torsos that you had lying around because you'd used the body parts for, a custom. Maybe if you wanted to make a cosmic character with bare arms, and then you had the torso knocking around, and then you wanted to get a mythics torso to make another custom. There you go. That's how to get it without having to buy another figure. So yeah, awesome. And of course, maybe you buy a couple of figures at Legions Con for customs and you don't want a couple of the accessories, or you don't particularly need them, or you want some other accessories instead of them. So awesome, Chris. We'll be keeping in touch and obviously hyping it up closer to Legions Con, but that's something that's been announced this week. So expect it to be popping up later with more information, kind of maybe about how it's going to be set up, and maybe I guess they might have some guidelines around it, just to keep it organized. So that's cool. And the next thing that we have in the community is the Pop and Swap Stars contest from the boys at Legions Lounge, who we had on a couple of weeks ago. Trevor and Nate and Bill from Dorclair. So this one is pretty cool. You going to partake this year, guys?
I might do. I'm in an R at the minute, whether I can. But I think it's great. I love seeing what everyone does, but I'll see if I can get the umph up to actually do it.
I will try to this year. I didn't get around to it last year, but this year I'll definitely try to do it.
I think there's nothing preventing us. It's just a matter of time and maybe a bit of perfectionism. I hear Mal there. Maybe, you want it to be really good. And then
it's also that bit of concern of basically doing something that someone else has done as well, and
we'll get it done quickly then.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Actually, one of the problems is that already now, after a couple of days of it being live, there's already some amazing ones.
Yeah.
So, no, nothing that I can say I've thought about because maybe I didn't think about it yet. But but ones that I certainly went, whoa, how is that only?
Sorry. Honestly, I actually don't think my pop and swap game is very good at all. Whereas there's some people are so creative, so creative. It's amazing.
I think the best approach would be to just think about three figures, obviously, that you can pop swap together. So obviously 3 on a the same system, be it a 1.0 or a 2.0. There can be some cross, I guess, possibilities between the two, and just start mixing them up until you get something you think of. The other approach is obviously, I want to make this type of character, and then going with it, But should be cool. The rules, very briefly. Now, there is a kilometer-long post in the Cabal from Trevor with the rules, which is important to a competition like this. The basic rules are are use 3 different figures. There's no restrictions on using a Legion builder this year. They had a Legion builder requirement in it last year, so that makes it much easier to kind of logistically put it together. And you can use weapons packs, hands packs, accessory packs, stuff like that, as well as the 3 figures. That's the basic rules. They also have a couple of categories: black and red category, a tribute figure category, and a best purple figure category, which I guess you can guess which lovely gentlemen are kind of behind sponsoring that category. And they also have
The Legion's Lair guys, obviously.
yeah, and they will also have a fan favorite figure where they'll take the top 5 most liked entries and run a poll on the Cabal to determine the fan favorite. So that covers all entries. And they'll obviously have a best overall first to third. And you're able to enter, I think, one or other of the categories by putting the different hashtags, which you can see in the post. So Trevor, look up Trevor Williams' post in the Cabal to see it is a Cabal competition. So if you want to be in, you have to be in the Cabal in the first place. So, you'll be able to find it in there, more details. But yeah, so get your hot water, your hairdryer, whatever you have to make the figures pop apart and get popping and swapping. Got to be a cosmic one from you, Mal.
I must admit that's sort of what I want to do. I'd like to kind of mix cosmic and mythic in a really cool way and see what we can get, but we'll see.
We shall see. Yeah. I'll be doing a mythic one, I think, maybe with some cosmic parts that I can maybe get in. That would be interesting. I mean, the bug parts are obviously classic, but you have the bug parts in with Poxus now as well. So, yeah, I think I'll think about it. But as you say, the longer it goes on, the more possibility it is that you look like you're cogging someone's homework.
Does if it gets towards the end, you just literally have to grab just pick parts that make no sense together and just stick them together and go, there you go.
Yeah.
It's a Frankenstein.
Exactly. Oh, nobody has used these 3 figures yet. Just gonna stick them together. So it's Morgalict and the barbarian ogre and a troll. Now, make that would be a competition winner, huh? If you could use those 3 together and actually make it look anyway cohesive.
Oh, if you can make it work, then it's 100% you win. Does not everybody else does.
Very cool. All right. So that's that. Any more from you guys? What you been doing? You did an awesome custom, Mal, with the Magnus head. Tell us about that.
Oh yeah. I'm terrible for getting the weapons painted. He's actually sat on a table here, but yeah.
There we go. Look at that. That's awesome.
The arms look the same color as the coat, but they're not, because the coat obviously doesn't fit quite right. I've made it so that the
inside is kind of like a waistcoat kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a mashup of
my
cosmic.
favorite little bit of it.
Yeah, the Novian lean boots, obviously, mixed with the
Novian lean. Yeah,
mixed with the Jacob Marley boots. And you had to do a little bit of gluing and modifying there, didn't you?
I did. Create a little peg for
to reverse the peg. Yeah,
rotates.
We talked about this before. We're hoping that maybe the peg on, for example, it's
pretty steady. It's not loose. So.
Yeah, we're hoping
that works well.
We're hoping that the peg on what's the cosmic figure?
Kern
Ray. Yeah, we're hoping that the peg is maybe the other way around on her because they had to make it that way around for the translucency. So,
fingers crossed. So it fits more naturally.
Very good. I've been painting away. I did a little paint match to Ayas on a Mark Calvo head.
Yeah,
posted
really
that
cool.
today in the Cosmic Cabal. So that's fun. That wasn't too hard. There was a great Pro Acryl of a great color called. Let me get it there. It's called Red Grey. And that was a great base coat for that. And so red and grey obviously could get you close if you have those colours. And then I was able to use a little bit of blue for the face, and there is a little bit of a kind of a brownish dry brush on the head of Ias himself. So I tried to match that as well. And then I just did a darkish blue for the headset on Mark's figure to match the pauldrons. So all in all, it worked out pretty well. So quite happy with that. Yup, and also painting some other stuff. Humans, I'm wondering whether humans are so painful to paint. I have a good few. Well, you can get them done, but if you want them really good, it takes time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm wondering if I need more quantity, I should just do more monsters and demons and aliens and stuff, and leave the humans to the guys that really love painting them. Anyway,
I think it's
sorry, yeah, Mal.
Do whatever you find fun, I think, isn't it? And
yeah.
You do a good
I love
job.
the
I'm
result.
Sure someone will be interested.
I love the result of doing the human heads, but yeah, sometimes it's because always there's a phase where you look at it and go, I'm going to have to strip the paint off this. And then you do a couple more coats and you're like, oh, actually, no, it's really good. Or you leave it for the night and then it's like, oh, yeah, it's actually not too bad. Yeah. Or just be happy that it's average. Maybe that's it should be. Anyway, let's get into the big chessboard. There it is. Look at that. Squares. Where'll I put us? Up there. No. Oh, like this. Oh, no. That's no good, is it?
Nobody needs a giant Mal.
Nobody needs a giant Mal.
Not even Mal needs a
Absolutely
giant Mal.
There we go. That's perfect.
I think that's the best.
Yeah. So this was posted earlier in the week. And this was just a big square 6x6 with lots of different colors in it. So we kind of fairly quickly thought that might be factions, I think. Is that fair to say?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
It
Right.
made the most sense. Same number of colours as factions.
And then Rich came up with this, and the Horseman posted it again like this today. So we're able to get the graphics in there as well. And then Rich came up with a load of figures to match the different thing. We initially thought All-Stars. Obviously, that's now not the case. But maybe explain your logic a little bit behind it, Rich.
Yeah, so my logic, when I thought it was All-Stars, it was like, right, this might be the last time they do All-Stars. What are they going to do? So I was thinking like, well, they're not going to have any Legion builders. They're not going to include anything inside of version 2 announced. No exclusives, no Motu homages. So it was like, right, okay, in that case, it's going to be older stuff. So it was Soul, Spiller, and Back was my plan. So there's nothing that's been in All-Stars already, except for a couple of alumni. Soul, Spiller, Back, so Arathir onwards, no, they're too new still. And then it was just matching the characters I thought most likely to be picked to each of the factions and how many things there were there.
Okay, so let's go through what characters we thought. Now, these characters could still have a relation to this, so I think it's worth talking about. And then we have a couple more things to talk about afterwards as well. And obviously, we'll see where this discussion brings us. So the first square... sorry, Mal, yeah?
So this is a bit of, this is what we thought, but we know it's not this, so what is it?
But still, we have faction, and we need to talk about maybe character related to the faction.
Unless it's a double bluff from the Horsemen, and this turns out to be exactly right.
Yeah. Well, you see, as I say...
Not All-Stars.
Yeah.
Here's my other theory then. It's not All-Stars, but maybe this is going to be a vote on characters that could be getting a version 2. And maybe they want to ask people to vote for your characters that should get a version 2. And then a couple of weeks later, they say, okay, here's the version 2s for you in an announcement. Would be a lot of work for them, but...
It's not, it sounds complicated because you'd assume Eric does quite a bit of design work on the version 2. But what you're saying makes sense with there only really being one armies of the Odysseus character, which is Otho, isn't it? So
you get voted. But It's not going to be auto, I think, for us here. So anyway, top left corner, we have Congregation of Necronominus. And the first little guy in there is Brother Mandibulus. So tell us, Rich.
He's just a heavy metal skeleton. I think he's one of everybody's favourites, if not the favourite from the faction. He's never won an All-Stars vote, obviously, hence he's in the list. It's just a sculpt. That head's amazing. So he's got to be in it if they were going to do, would you like these figures remade? Then he has to be one of them.
And do you think that he wasn't in the vote before, was he?
He's been in one, I think. I'm sure I remember seeing him in one of them, but he didn't get through.
Yeah. So there's Brother Man.
It's one of those new with Necronominus coming this year. More people could want him, and again, I think since he's been in the vote, there'll be a lot more new people into the line as well. I think the last few years has just been a steady increase of newcomers, hasn't there? So
there has indeed, yeah.
Well, one of my other ideas, which we'll cover later, may well have a type of this in anyway.
Okay, cool. The next one then we have is House of the Noble Bear. So Rich, that is?
I don't often wax lyrical about House of the Noble Bear characters. In fact, I never do. But if I had to pick one I genuinely liked, is this fella, Helmer Goldentooth. He's the best dwarf in the line that we've got in hand. I think the new 2-pack from the Rising Suns wave would challenge it definitely. But it's just he's just a great figure. Good colours, great head sculpt. He's never been an all-star, so one of the few really older ones that hasn't been. So his time has come.
His time has come, Almer. Yeah, I'd take him as an all-star, awesome dwarf. I'd take him as a candidate for the second version. Mal, you got this guy?
No, I don't own him. I'd love to have him.
Yeah.
I actually think he's one we will get a version 2 of, though.
Yeah.
At some point.
I don't think we will, you see. I think this is a pretty decent figure as it is. And I don't think it's a big enough character to get a version 2. So I think the only way we're going to get him is through a re-release.
Wow.
I'm good with either. So
right. Another noble bear, Kador. Barbarian with the helmet.
Probably the most underrated noble bear character. Nobody ever talks about him. You never see him for sale. Nobody talks about him. But it's a really nice figure. I think I said before, my Kador is, most of it is genuine Kador bits. And then I was missing a head. So I had to get Drew Grubbs to paint that helmet, or that helmet from a different figure to match him, sort of thing. But it's a great, really imposing barbarian.
Right. Okay. Mal, Kador.
I've
Barbarian.
got him, but I'd happily get him again because he was one of those that came in that lot that got that all ended up being cigarette stained and smelling.
Oh, yeah.
Although, funnily enough, he's one of them that came out not so bad. I think he's a bit darker than he should be, but yeah. So I'd happily get a refresh of him.
This cigarette colorway. Morgulith, yeah.
Really important character. Obviously, she was the leader of the congregation until Necronominus and Thrasis came back. Very underrated character again, and the head sculpt is just out of this world. It's one of the best ones the Four Horsemen have done. It's so unique. I think a lot of people would want to add her to their congregation ranks to go with the rest of the children.
Yeah, I've said this before. I know it's unfair, but it is literally based on the quality of the paint they do now. There isn't enough paint detail on her head. This is true. It's one silver color with maybe a wash, but I don't even think there is.
Well,
the sculpt is incredible.
I came into the line after she'd been released, but aren't there pictures of her with a much more painted head, a painted helmet?
I think that was a kind of the original version they were going to do. They never publicly announced that.
Right.
I think behind the scenes, they'd obviously done a couple of test runs.
Yeah.
And but when during the Kickstarter, this was the only one for sure that was
Right.
yeah.
And somebody ages ago, I can't remember who it was, but they did a human version of her.
Oh,
So they put one of the
Yeah.
human female Four Horsemen heads in to that and flesh arms and that sort of thing. And that looked incredible too.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. This won't be a very popular one, I would say. The next one, Faustia.
No, and this breaks my Soul Spiller and Before
Yeah.
rules. It's the only one that does, but there was literally no characters in the Army of Odysseus that fitted into the rules I had. So I picked Faustia, who was the next member of the Army of Odysseus after that cut off.
Yeah.
She's a great figure. I hate her because she keeps falling off my shelf and will not stay up there on a stand on anything. But in principle, she's a lovely figure, lovely colours.
Yeah.
The hood's really cool, but yeah, she's a very definition of a shelf diver.
Yeah, she relies heavily on leaning on the staff for me.
Even that doesn't work for me. I've even had her sitting down and she's fallen off the shelf somehow. It's like
Wow.
it's like she's possessed.
Maybe she's on her way over to the Necronominus.
Maybe. Toy Story is true. She's the one that never gets back in the right place.
That's it, yeah.
So she does have an incredible paint app, and she is a nice figure to have. And you get the alternative army builder head, so you can do her with a couple of guards, or you can just turn them all into kind of guards within your army of Odysseus. So I do like that sometimes about the army of Odysseus. A lot of the figures you can make into just army builders because they are armies.
Yeah, 100%. If you're going to army build, that's probably the best faction for it.
Yeah,
because you can just have them all, 10 guards stood behind her. That's the same figure.
They do the same with Magnus. I think Hadriana is the same. Obviously, you have the Red Shield Soldier. You could, if you had an Alto, and if he was re-released, you could definitely stick a Silver Knight helmet on him or something, and he's a Legion builder as well. I mean, does Alto it doesn't come with the alternate head, does it?
No, you just had the one head.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe that's why he was ordered initially. Funny. Right. Pox's figure, Zarya.
Yeah, she's only one of the sort of demons that we've not had re-released. Obviously, we had Azar, who nobody really liked, but he still won through somehow. Zazar a bit more popular, and then Zarya. She's a nice figure. I had her. I sold her during one of my purges, but she's a lovely figure. And again, now we've got more of the Poxus figures, then that just would allow people to flesh out the ranks a little bit.
Yeah, Azar definitely got through because people wanted to do the blue and the yellow with the Azar. So, yeah, she's a great figure actually, and even with the fact that she has hooves, she doesn't tend to fall over that much for me anyway.
No, same with me actually. Maybe that's the key with 2.0 is give them all hooves.
Yeah,
Gwendolyn hooves, Delphina hooves, Faustia hooves. It's like
Oh, have you Zarya, Mal?
I haven't got her. She's one of them I would really, really like.
Yeah, she's a
just
cool
never
figure.
had the chance.
I'm very glad I did pass on her in the Kickstarter, but I got her in that Big Bad Toy Store restock that time.
the halcyon days.
The halcyon days. The worst vampire, Carpathius.
You know my feelings of this guy. I don't like him, but he is an older character. For some reason, he does sell for a decent amount on eBay, etc.
Classic vampire. He was a great character back in Wave 1, but now that you've got what you've got subsequently, it's like, he's one of those classics.
As soon as
Sorry, Matt.
Yeah, I was just going to say, as soon as the Vampire Knight came out in Advent and Decay, this guy was just like, meh. I mean, I've got one. He's on my, he's part of my brood, but it's just a meh. But he's an older character, so he's in there because of that. He'd be one of the alumni options.
But I think people listen to this, that, a lot of them will have holes in their collection that involve a lot of these figures. So, and also people maybe new to the line, it's interesting to maybe see what figures potentially could be hard to get down the line, including this fella who is literally impossible to get. It's not even that he costs an arm and a leg, it's just that he's not available, pretty much. Sir
Yeah,
Galeron.
Sir Galeron. And I think people have said numerous times, the pictures don't dim justice. They don't show the real paint color. Yet no one's taken a more updated pictures to show the real paint color.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of what doesn't drive the buzz, is that no one, it's like they're almost trying to keep him in a cupboard. He's like, the cousin that nobody wants to admit is part of the family. So he's just like, yeah, it's a terrible picture. We're not going to take any more though. No, that's fine. You just make do with that. He even missed out on a previous All-Star vote, which is crazy. So I think everyone thought he'd get in easily, but for some reason it didn't make it.
Funny. Yeah, and Trevor has taken the updated pictures. I don't know if he's taken this guy yet, but put it on the website. People need to appreciate
Please.
him with these nice blue hue. So Asterion, he was close last year in the alumni vote.
He was. This guy's awesome. I bought him because it was comparatively cheap. I think I got him for like £80 or £90, which in the scheme of things is not the end of the world. Thinking like, well, I'll get him because he's not a bad deal. And then the second I put him on my shelf, I was like, yeah, this guy's one of the mainstays of the flock now. He's just got such a presence. Yeah. I know we've had other Minotaurs since, but it's the whole human sort of skin tone, and then the black Minotaur head just works perfectly.
You have one, Mal, don't you? No.
I really want him. He's another one I really want.
Sorry, you must have confused him with someone else.
Oh, no.
I'd love it.
This is like a taunting Mal episode, John.
Yeah.
Mal, you got this, haven't you? No. Okay. You got this? No. Okay.
I don't have him either. So I'd buy a load of this guy. Number one, to have the character. And number two, then I would try and paint a couple of human or barbarian heads to match this skin tone. That would be a nice bit of variety in the line. And speaking of variety in the line, Gadriel, a beautiful figure, amazing paint to go with your Sir Ignatius that's coming up soon in the All-Stars 6, soon to be released, hopefully, and by the end of the year anyway. Be no-brainer to re-release her, wouldn't it?
Yeah, she's really underrated.
Yeah.
Sorry, if I'm looking nervous for anyone who watches the YouTube of this, it's because both my gerbils are out having a drink. And John gets quite funny about my gerbils having a drink while I'm podcasting and the noise coming through the microphone. So.
Just hover over that mute.
You can actually hear them.
Just hover over that mute.
Waffles, pancake, be quiet, dude. My child named them, not me, just so we're clear on that.
They won't be drinking for the next hour, hopefully.
Yeah, she's a completely underestimated figure. As you said, John, the armor is incredible. You get gold wings with her. How cool is that? The only reason I sold mine was because I hate that head sculpt. Like really, really genuinely dislike it.
You get a generic head sculpt as well.
You do, but I wasn't a huge fan of that either. If there'd been a better unhelmeted head, I'd have kept her. But because there wasn't, then she had to bite the dust. Having said that, I would love to see her get re-released again.
Is it because the hair is maybe more modern?
Possibly. It could well be that, actually. Yeah, it's a very modern looking head compared to most of the other ones you get in Legions.
Except the Delphina that looks like she's had the Rachel from Friends haircut, A no-brainer here, King Bromden.
Yeah, in terms of accessories and parts and that, he's the best dwarf in the line at the moment that's been released. So yeah, just total no-brainer. And he really is one that if they do ever issue him again, get multiple so you can have him and two more at least as guards, because the helmet that goes with that as like a guard's helmet is so good.
And then you've got this cool crown to use on other figures, or use as an accessory or whatever, or you can turn it upside down and use it as something else. So pretty cool. Mal, you'd take another Bromden, wouldn't you?
Yeah, might do. Depends on how much money I've got at the time.
We're assuming no money problems here.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be good for fodder because it's black armor again, isn't it? But in dwarf scale, so
yeah,
always good.
If he gets re-released, Mal, it'll just be a little cost.
Hey,
hey, gotta get the joke.
Yeah, depends how short on money I am.
Hey.
Right. And maybe you'll just use them in Cosmic, huh?
Well, that's it. You could use the parts for, but yeah, I need to save money for.
Other
I
stuff.
may have ordered a few more for sure rices.
Oh.
From Big Bad.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
When Mal says a few more, he means 12, at least 12.
Not quite that many yet.
Lucretia. Now that is a good vampire.
It's a great vampire. I love Lucretia. She's a faction leader. So people do need her. Very underrated again. Really good looking head sculpt. Great figure.
We've not actually ever seen that neck piece again, have we,
No.
after her?
No.
I don't think we have. No.
Nope.
The only time I've ever seen it used again was people when they're making mind flayers. They seem to love using that piece.
It's very cool. It's great.
Oh yeah, I've seen it on a few customs, but again, it's
Yeah.
quite a difficult piece to track down now for a custom. And I'm sure one of those ones that, because it's flexible plastic, you need to be careful with priming it and stuff before you paint it. So just a gut check here on, we have 12 revealed. Do we think most of these could get a version 2 under my theory, maybe? Brother Mandibulus, definitely. He's a
Morgulith could.
Morgulith. Halmir, we'd say
Zarya
possibly.
could.
Zarya. Carpathius is an important character.
Yeah, Lucretia could
yeah.
definitely get one.
Galeron seems to be an important character too. Asterion, we thought no, because he was in the alumni, and by that theory, it means that he wasn't important enough to get a version 2. So, yep. Gadriel, not too sure about her.
I think they could. I mean, if they really want to sort of get her closer to Ignatius, then they could obviously paint the armor a little bit more like his.
And at the moment, she's the only angel, isn't she, really?
Yeah.
So from that perspective, she's quite important in the line.
True. Bromdom is a version 2, I think, at this point. He couldn't really be jazzed up any better.
No, he couldn't.
And Lucretia could be, but I don't know what parts they have available, or other than maybe soft goods and stuff. Right. Orin Steelhide.
Brilliant.
I think people would lose their mind if this guy was offered up again. I think he's one of these ones that would definitely sail through.
Yeah.
Looking at the armor color, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, love him. Dwarf from the flock. I think the only dwarf from the flock, is he? Yeah.
He is, yeah. He'd been an alumni because he's been in an All-Stars already.
Yeah.
But he's a great figure. Although it does bring me traumatic memories because I sold mine a while back to somebody who will remain nameless, who was a complete a-hole about the whole thing.
Oh.
Tried to swizz some money out of me, all sorts of stuff. So, yeah.
Ooh. Right. Next, we
Getting
have
angry.
Urku. Yeah.
The rarity would get him voted for, I think. Personally, I don't like him. The silvers are too bright for an orc. It's too shiny, and he's like a boy band orc. It's like, look at my glowy skin, look at my shiny silver armor. It's like, no, but he's an older character, so people would want him.
Yeah, he's one for me that if he was like the only one from an all-in that I wasn't fussed about, I'd just get the all-in and have him. But he's the most orcish orc that you can ever see, and I'm not that big a fan of the orcish orcs. So.
Yeah, I'd take him.
Is that the name of the band, Mel? The Orcish Orcs.
Pixis, Mel, you're a fan.
Need big time. I'm this close to spending an absolute fortune on to get him.
Wait another couple of weeks. Let's see, even if they say,
I have to.
There's stuff happening here.
But no, if you're a fan of Mercurians and cool armor colors, then this guy's a no-brainer. I know he's not Mercurian now, but it's just a no-brainer.
For me, it's purely the Pixel Dan link. I'd keep the bio, keep the card fully intact, and if I ever got a chance to meet Pixel Dan, get him to sign that, and then that'd be displayed.
I keep forgetting he's Pixel Dan homage because Pixel Dan doesn't really do anything with Legions anymore, does he? So
It's
just the occasional bit, but not
Yeah.
not like he used to.
the Motu beat is pretty busy, you know.
Yeah, it is.
Malachi Cinderhorn.
One of my favourites, although it's a 2.0, I always say this, don't I? But he's a 2.0, one of my favourite characters. I love evil elves. This guy, the face sculpt is just pure smirking evil. I love it. Yeah, let's get him again.
And now that Poxus has a refresh, we could do with people might be missing him from their collection, so he'd be a
Well,
cool one.
And we've also got his daughter now, haven't we? So
We do, Manisha. Yeah.
Yeah.
A goblin, Nubnik.
Underrated goblin.
Yeah.
I think anyone that's got him knows how good he is. Again, really sort of evil face sculpt.
I think this is
Just to
Bill from Dorclair's one of his favorites.
it is. Yeah,
he's a cool one.
he's a great figure.
Yeah. I have all the goblins, but I'd probably buy him again.
Yeah. Initially, I wasn't fussed about the goblins, but he was the one. I think it was him and King Noglin. The two of them just sort of drew me in, and then once I had them, it was like, okay, I need the goblins.
Right, explain this one, Hagnon. What were we on?
It was the only fit that wasn't. It was that everything else basically been in already, other than the skeleton soldier 2.0. And
Was
I didn't
this
think they
like
put
you'd done
that
the
in.
Sudoku and you were like, oh yeah, then must be a 9 in there? Or,
Yeah, basically.
yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, there's no way I'd put this invisible piece of you know what in.
Mal, do you want your say on it, or?
I mean, I don't see him being done again, but I like him, but I don't see why they.
Yeah, well, we have a blue one, which is the same.
Yeah,
currently at the retailers,
and really cool. I really like the blue one. I think it's possibly better than the clear one.
I need to go through and look at the retailers actually in the next couple of weeks and see have any of those sold out at retailers. That would be interesting to see.
I'm going to say no for Blue Hagnon.
Possibly for Blue Hagnon, but Lee J, I think there's a chance. He's in
Potentially.
Yeah. Shadow Elf Ranger, another Poxus. He's a excellent figure.
Fabulous figure. I think, although we got Manisha coming up with the Suns wave, it's been so long since the Shadow Orcs were available. I think a lot of people would want those to get in there and get them. So it's between him and the Shadow Elf Warrior, but this one's a cooler figure. So that's why I picked this one.
You got him, Mal?
No, I haven't got any of the Shadow Elves. I'm not a big elf fan.
Mal, if you turn your back to the screen, John's just going to plunge that knife in over and over again.
He mightn't want him. By the sounds of it, he doesn't even want him.
Well, I would say of the elves, the Shadow Elves are most interesting, and I do think the Shadow Elf Ranger is pretty cool. It's one of those, when there was a bit more of an abundance of around that time, Big Bad had them all, that sacred time that we all remember. If I'd gotten through the ones I wanted most, I'd have gone picking up things like the Shadow Elf Ranger, So.
Fair enough. I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking, is there a significance to the way the squares are laid out? Because now we have two Basilia figures, one after the other. I mean, surely it can't be just random.
Randomly generated.
Just random. Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when I was trying to figure it out, because I was trying to think, there must be an alumni.
But there's only...
But then I couldn't think of 6 alumni figures that could possibly be in there anyway. And there's no obvious pattern, so I think they might have just randomly generated it.
But to get the only two Basilia, one after the other, just... Anyway, they're going to be great. Here's the first one, Balam.
You got to remember though, John, they put a post out this morning with Basilia and Noble Bear the wrong way around, so I wouldn't be shocked if they just coincidentally popped next to each other.
Now, there's a good point. Yeah.
Balam, your favourite figure in the line, John. One of my favourite figures. That armour colour is outstanding.
Yeah.
The paint job on the head's incredible. It comes with a bucket helmet as well, so you can have knights. It's a no-brainer. It needs to be.
Absolutely. Excellent figure. Mal?
Hey, he's very cool. I've got him. I don't know.
I was about to ask.
It's another... Yeah,
he's got him at last.
Yes. Yeah. It's another one of those that if it was I'm in no rush to get another one, but it is a cool figure. And if it was the one that, of like, again, blah, blah.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, then moving on, we have Joran Runeshaper, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, so this would be another alumni one because he's been an all-star before. The dwarves are the in thing at the moment. Everyone's loving the dwarves. This is a dwarf mage. Who doesn't like that? Amazing color armor. So yeah.
And another one with a bucket helmet as well, and a plume.
Oh, he does. I forgot about that. Yes.
Green
See, yeah.
plume as well, if you want to have a little bunch of green plumes along with some of your different other figures. That would be cool. Yeah, I'd take another Durand. He was one of the ones he's one of the only ones that I went back to pick up at slightly over retail. So
Yeah, I was debating Azza for this spot, but I think because he's just that bit older and the dwarves are so popular at the moment, that's why he went through for me.
Mal, what's your thoughts on him?
I'd love this guy. I would absolutely love to have him. I'd quite like Azza Spirit Bender as well, but this guy more than her any day. I love the colourfulness of him.
Yeah.
Again, he's a dwarf. So.
Yeah, exactly. And that head is, even though we got it that's the head we got in the heads pack, isn't it? It's
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's excellent.
But there's something about
Aratir.
those green wings.
Yeah, they're really, and there's a little bit of a kind of gradient on them, so really nice. Aratir, Warrior.
This is the figure in hand I think surprised me more than any other figure I've had in a line. It was just like, well, it's a pig. That's quite cool.
Yeah.
And then you open it up, and the details are great. The little tail comes with some
weathering is really good.
cool weapons. Yeah, the weathering's great. It's mismatched armor as well, sort of thing. So you got the dark bronzes and the silvers and the reds, and it's just a really, really surprisingly great figure.
Yeah. I love him as well. I wish I'd got multiples. I just have one. So I'd love an army of these. Or a small army, obviously, not a...
Was it Pat Boyle, I think, who was painting them in the colours of the American NFL teams? The heads. So
Possibly,
yeah, not the whole body, just the heads. So I think he's got like 8 at least, I think.
Oh, he might have
painted up at the various.
He might have changed them into dwarves or something, maybe, and just had the heads left. Maybe. Yeah, the only thing, and it absolutely doesn't matter because they unboxed them, but he looks stupid in the package.
Oh, he looks ridiculous in the package. Because that head is so long that they've had to just tilt it up, haven't they?
It's longer than the package, so they have to tilt it to the side. So, I mean, he must have some crick in his neck after getting out of the package.
If you look at the box, it looks like someone's killed him in the box and he's just like slumped with his head to one side. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah. The Jesse Arnold tribute, Thistlethorn.
Thistlethorn. I was going to say one of my suggestions for this, for all 36 would be the 24 that Jeremy Gerard bought off Big Bad Toy Store that time, plus another 12, and all painted to the different factions. The different factions, all painted to the different factions. It's like, there you go, 36 different Thistlethorns.
He's great. The paint on him is amazing, and it comes with the green version of the Sword Horseman. So
excellent.
Yeah,
figure. I wouldn't be surprised. I could see him in whatever this actually ends up being, him being part of it. Because I'm hearing quite a few people pushing for him lately.
Mm-hmm.
He's a cool figure.
I think so. Furiork is an excellent figure.
It's a good figure. Red and black's in. Well, it's always in because they're a great combination. But I think people would go crazy over this. One of our subscribers, or patrons rather, Ryan, would go absolutely mental over this. So,
with the Furiork, though, I wonder if he might ended up being busted down, so to speak, to a Legion builder.
Possibly,
because you think about what they're doing with the Legion builders now.
He was
a
28
right in with that.
Yeah, he was a $28 figure back in the day, so they could maybe take an accessory off him, and
or they could chuck him in as a reinforcement, like they did with Silverhorn Sentry, maybe, and say he's generic, therefore we can chuck him in as a slightly more expensive
Yeah,
reinforcement.
possibly.
Yeah.
Um,
I keep thinking they're going to do that with him.
if there's some sort of vote around whatever this is, I feel he's going to be, if there's 6 getting in, he'll be 7th. He's that type
Yeah.
of character. Or if there's 5 getting in, he'll be 6th.
Yeah.
It's just he's cool, and people will. The irony is he'll sell more than probably the first figure because people will buy 3 of him, whereas they'll buy 1 Otto. For example. So it's a funny one. Juno, definitely, I could see a version 2 of Juno in the future. I could see a re-release of Juno in the future.
I don't know that she's that important story-wise, though, is she? But she's
Possibly not.
an awesome figure.
Yeah.
And I'd love a 2.0.
I think the way I could see a version 2 is if they used the 1.0 body like Neve
Yeah,
and just made it that much bigger.
that could be. And again, maybe if they decide, wouldn't it be great to release Juno in a version 2, they could make her more important in the story.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
could have an evolution within the story.
I mean, she's still seeking revenge on
Yeah.
Atlas. So what if?
Oh, she's going to kill Atlas. Yes. Yes.
She could be his downfall.
Suddenly it's Rich's
his
favorite
salvation.
figure.
Version 2 with her wearing his mullet as a cap.
Or it just comes with the accessory of Atlas's decomposed head. Yeah. The Horsemen wouldn't do that, so don't worry about it.
They wouldn't know. It's no.
Another beautiful lady, Gwendolyn Heavensbrand.
Beautiful figure, beautifully painted, will not stand for shit. So I sold mine because she just kept falling over. Not quite Fausti levels, but she just kept falling over. So it was like, you're gone. But as far as the figure goes, beautiful. The paint job's fabulous.
Yeah.
I love the fact the visor moves up and down. That's really beautiful. Lovely. It's a purple plume, I think.
Yeah.
Really nice.
I love her. I have her. I bought a bunch of her in an in-stock sale and sold her to different people. Because she's a great figure, and there was loads of her left, and I knew people would want them eventually. I sold her for like 65. It wasn't crazy, but I just knew that I'd be able to sell her easy. Freya.
It's all about the Vikings at the moment, isn't it? So she's as Viking as you get with a living character.
Yeah.
So yeah, she'd have to be on there.
Yeah, Freya's a great figure. Freya's top notch. If you can get a Freya, it's like if you compare, say, Freya to Dorina, there's no comparison. Freya is,
there isn't. No.
Even if you're into He-Man, which I understand the tribute aspect, Freya is miles better.
Yeah. And her bio is so good as well. Kill her, she resurrects. Kill her, she resurrects. It's just like, that's just cool.
She got 9 lives, let me cat.
She is one, though. I do wonder if we will get a version 2 of her, though, as well. Maybe,
possibly.
Depending on whatever this is, and if it is a vote type thing and she appears.
Could be more like a Valkyrie god type, Yeah.
Or unbeknownst to us, we've had the version 2 already, and that's the Vikenfell skeleton in the retailer wave, because she didn't regenerate once.
Now this Faunus from the flock, this is a figure that will win a All-Stars vote or get very close.
Big time.
Yeah. One of my favorite figures in the line. I think the very first, sorry, Mal. I think the very first one I opened when I got my first 12 through from the Advent of Decay in stock sale is like, that's just like that's a tree man. I want to open that.
Yeah. Yeah. Tree head, unique, never been used again. They could not easily, but they could even use this head again in a more, with a different paint job and make it look different to Faunus, I think.
Another one, though, potentially version 2. He's commander of the armies, the Silverhorn Sentries. He's definitely important enough for a version 2.
Yeah, that actually reminds me, now that I have a couple of Silverhorn Sentries from the reinforcements, I can now do them. I need to redo my flock shelf so I can do Faunus leading the Sentries.
Well, I got 2 so they could flank him. no space to do it. But
See if the Four Horsemen go crazy and start doing the Mattel idea of, on the Hasbro idea of just making everything seasonal themed. You could have a Christmas furnace with like Christmas tree baubles hanging off the antlers and all this sort of stuff. You could paint his face to be more reindeer-esque.
I would
It's
actually buy that.
Yeah.
Of course you would, yeah. You bought Turtles of Grayskull.
yeah.
This would be a step up. Yeah, doesn't Krampus
Couldn't
come
be a
with
step
those kind
down.
of little bells? And then coming up, Sons of the Red Star. Who we got here? I need to move it on for ourselves. Lord Viteris. Yeah, I have a few of him. He's excellent.
Everyone's favorite porn star mercenary with that mustache. So it's. I mean, my one gripe with Viteris is the unarmored arms. I think that's a real pain. But the armor color is beautiful. It's different to everything else. You got a couple of head options. It's got those purples going through. You know me in purple, so lovely figure.
When I got this figure first, the bare arms completely took me by surprise in a good way. I thought that made it look so much better. Just kind of something unique for him.
This is the one that makes me question, that made me go, well, this will be funny for All Stars, because I can't see them redoing Lord Viteris.
Yeah.
But I also can't see what other member of the flock of the Red Stars they would redo.
Yeah.
Because most of them are tributes or,
You know. Grisha would be the other one, no?
Grisha's the one that comes to mind. Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that. We have that later.
Yeah. I left Grisha out of this one though, because Grisha's been in at least the last two, I think, boats.
Oh, yeah.
Through.
Yeah.
So that's why
Yeah.
Grisha was left out of this one, yeah.
This one I was confused by. Thord from the Noble Bear. I would have thought you would have gone for version 2 of him.
I don't think they'll do a version 2 of him. I think because they've re-released Bothar as he was, and they're like mortal enemies, I think they'll just re-release this guy as he is. I don't think they'll do a version 2 of him because he looked too weird against Bothar.
But is he not more important than Bothar? Or?
I think they're intertwined. I know what you mean about him being important, but I think their storyline is quite intertwined, and I because of that, I don't think they'd do a version 2.
Yeah, but
I mean, I'd love it if they did.
Like, you know, Thord is probably way more successful in his career as, you know, what he's doing in the Noble Bear, and he's kind of more important in that faction. And so some other guy from, you know, Bothar from Arathir's faction hates him, but he's a nothing in that faction, you know? So, I don't know. Good discussion, though.
Yeah, maybe it's just me hoping they don't do version 2s of too many Noble Bear characters. Who knows?
Subconscious.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Unconscious bias. It's just like, no.
Thord is a very high value figure these days. Very hard to get. I don't have him. Do you have him, Mal? No.
If he ever went into an all-star vote, he'd sail through.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Aetheron, Delphina. Yeah.
Again, there weren't an awful lot of Order of Aetheron Knights to put in, but I do love this one. It's nice to have a different body shape for the Templars, although that's changed slightly now with the Relic Guards and the Dark Templars and everything. Although it's the same body, the different colours, and that give it enough of a break up on the shelf, as it were. But again, she comes with 2 heads. The Jennifer from Friends one, and the, as you said, John, and the helmeted one. A whole plethora of accessories. Got the crossbow and everything. She's a very nice figure and not cheap.
Yeah. No, good figure, and for what she is, a female Templar, so that's obviously unique. And if you want an army of them, you'd be having a very expensive time at the moment. You don't collect the Templars, Mal, do you?
No, I'm not fussed by the Templars at all. I'll get like one of them, but I get the slightly different Templar body shape as well. But yeah, you know, it doesn't bother.
King Noglin, Legion of Arathir.
I love this little sound. So as I said, he's the one that pretty much turned me onto the goblins. So it's pure evil. He's gold. Look at that wooden crown.
Wooden crown is incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
And he's got a cool bit of soft goods with him as well. I mean, it's a bit
Yeah.
dated now with some of the other stuff, but it's still a cool set of soft goods.
Yeah, because it's a
So, yeah.
couple of layers. It's a
It
black
is, yeah.
and a red, kind of tattered. I nearly split my finger in half trying to get these pauldron in, though, with those on it. A long time ago now, so my finger has recovered. Do you collect the goblins, Mal?
Yeah, I love the goblins.
Yeah.
I love all the little guys.
So you got him.
I hate to ask you, have you got this guy?
Yeah. I've got no. I've got all the goblins. I've got all the goblins.
Very good. So you got the next one then as well, Snag.
Yes, although I needed a different snag because the nose on my snag's not very. I think whoever I bought it off had painted, rubbed, and they tried to fix it, and it just looks a bit odd. But I love him all the same.
Yeah.
If there's one goblin that's going to have a weird nose, though, it's going to be him, like trapped in a door or a window frame trying to escape with his looted goods. You know,
Yeah, I love Snag.
this is it.
He's such an archetypal goblin, isn't he, with that long nose and the little hat and
Absolutely.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd definitely get one and repaint the hat if I got it, if it came out again or whatever.
I'd definitely get another one of him.
Or another style of that goblin. Be very cool. I also think that some of the heads are glued together. So, for example, maybe the lower jaw is separate, even if it doesn't look separate, because I know that people have taken heads out of helmets and hats and they've realized actually this is two parts. So I wonder if they could ever tool a piece, like maybe, for example, I don't know now, but Snag's lower jaw and maybe make it an open mouth,
No,
So
maybe,
to
yeah.
give you without much new tooling, so you keep the hat, you keep the eyes and the nose, and then the lower jaw is just new. So something like that might be possible for some figures. I'm not saying which ones now, but I know that there's some that are two pieces that you wouldn't realize. Lord Aiden, then from the flock. Yeah.
A nice figure, nothing special, but a relatively important character as he
Mhm.
raised Artemis. An older figure again, not massively expensive, but you don't often see him either for sale, having said that. So I think he'd be popular.
The definition of resting bitch face.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You look at him and you don't know if he's miserable or whether he's just very angry and will chop your arm off the next second. He's got that sort of face.
And he's an example of the advent of decay, the 2.0 figures, the armor painting and the leather and all that is absolutely sensational.
Yeah.
Really next level. Yeah. Do you have this guy, Mal?
Got no interest in
no
him.
interest?
He's a bit too elfy elf for me.
Oh, yeah.
He's the elfy elf.
And this is one that I think we discussed previously. Could be a version 2, Queen Urxa.
Yes, I think we talked about maybe almost like a brute scale, didn't we, as well? Or certainly a 1.0 scale to beef her up a bit.
Yeah. I think that's the best thing they can do with her, for my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I think she's great. I don't have her. I'd like her. But I'd like her to be a bit, stronger, let's put it that way.
But then they'd have to do the head again as well. So they'd basically be a whole new figure, Yeah, well, maybe we're there. 10 years of Legions, maybe we're there. And last but not least on the chessboard is a slightly smaller chessboard. So obviously chessboard's 8x8. Calavius.
A very underrated figure, I think, Calavius. I think everyone just associates Calavius with that head and that helmet, which is very good. But it's a really lovely painted figure. The gold is weathered well. It's a skin tone that we don't have that much of, so that gives you far more possibilities in terms of characters and that sort of thing as well. Gotta love that trident. It's a pretty cool weapon.
Yeah. I love him. Yeah, I definitely get a bunch more. I have 2, and I definitely get another one if he was to come out. And if it's a version 2, I'd get a load more. But unlikely to be a version 2 for him, I guess.
No, I can't see a version 2 of him. No, but he's a cool figure.
He is really cool. Alrighty, that's our list. Then we had this. I put this together. Version 2 candidates. We're going to have version 2. So, Hera Serpentspire. She's ripe for version 2. No, very important
I
character.
can't believe we
in the
won't get. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's such an important character as the leader of the convocation that we'd have to get a version 2. However, the version 1 is incredible.
It is.
Yeah.
But I
incredible
think they
head
could
sculpt.
do more soft goods with her, without.
Yeah.
And maybe.
I bet they could do more with the hair as well,
Yeah.
couldn't they? Now.
Yeah, true. And that is a plug-in hairpiece, so they could even do maybe two different types, something like that. Thord we have discussed, and then we have Urzok. I think it's clear we're going to get a different version of him.
Yeah, I think we. Sorry, John, you carry on.
No, but just because he hasn't been kind of in a vote for a long time in an All-Stars. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's basically my thinking as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they do an Armored Brutes scale figure. He would be a good fit for that.
Yeah.
Just really imposing.
And he's going to get the Arathir pop-out shield, hopefully.
Yeah.
Guion did the repaint that I suggested on that this week. I saw him posting. He's amazing dwarf, kind of Gorgo dwarf, whatever kind of minion of Gorgo dwarf. It's awesome. The fire effect he did on that shield was perfect. Don't need to do it myself now. And then obviously Otto will come out.
Yeah, they've said a few times, haven't they? They're going to do a version 2 of him. It's just a case of when we get him.
I like the idea of versus 2-packs. I suggested this for Legions Con. Obviously, we got the Chris and George, but I would have preferred Otto versus Urzok 2-pack.
That would be good.
Amazing.
That would be good.
Yeah, that's a way to get them re-released. Any more version 2 candidates that you think of, guys? I mean, obviously, you could have all the ones we just talked about. Yeah. But these are the ones that really stood out for me.
Yeah. I mean, a flocked Balaam, but I'm not sure they'll ever do a flocked figure again.
I think Xylona could definitely come as a version 2.
Oh, they have to do a better version of Xylona.
Yeah.
That first one's okay. It's not great.
Yeah. And I guess Malleus, we talked about before. He's quite plain for
He's so boring
compared to his brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Right. Then we got the Rich, what were you thinking section. So explain a couple of these. Let's start up in the corner here with Sir Godfrey. I think I can agree with this. He's just a Templar.
It's a Templar with a plume.
Yeah.
It's just like,
and a couple of dots more gold, depending on what version of the Templar you got.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Once they did the Big Bad Toy Store and All-Star one with gold anyway, then basically made this one pointless.
Yeah. That was a bit of an oopsie, though, I think, on their part.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Gonks. I mean,
I'm not a fan of Gonks. I know the armor's really cleverly weathered, but I think if you're going to go for goblins, you want more of the slimmer goblin build.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the deluxe goblin builder, from what I've seen, wasn't that. People weren't that impressed with that. So again, I think the bigger goblin build just doesn't do it for people.
Okay. Deltagar, you think he was just because he's a tribute, or
I think because he's a tribute. I think they struggle because of that to release him again.
Okay.
I think he's a one and done.
As a spirit bender, we talked about the Elf Ranger.
Because I went for the Shadow Elf Ranger. Otherwise, the Elf Ranger would have been in there. He's a great figure. Gotcha. But I didn't want two different Rangers because they're so similar.
I'd prefer the Shadow Elf Ranger if that becomes an option in any of this.
So we know you hate Ravenna. So I suppose that was to be expected.
The worst figure in the line.
I don't think so, and I think she should be re-released somehow. She's a great figure, but
Although I did enjoy getting that selfie with the lady dressed as Ravenna a couple of at Legions Con. She had a very good cosplay outfit on.
Yeah, she was awesome. Then Tail and Frostbow. What have you got against the ladies?
I don't know what it is with her. She just there was enough 2.0s in that wave anyway, and they were better Xylona characters.
Okay. Grisha, did we talk a little bit about Grisha?
Grisha never gets picked. You can put Grisha in as many times as you like.
Is Grisha the one that gets like 4th and 5th? I suppose only the Horsemen will know.
Possibly. I mean, I love Grisha. I think Grisha's an amazing. I mean, the helmet, the leather armor, colors, and everything. It's an incredible figure, but it just never gets picked. So pointless shoving it in again.
And then the rest of these here. So Archimedes, Thump, Torgan, Twick, Cassia, and Kurzog. I think it's just because you only considered up to Soul Spiller, basically.
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't have picked Cassia because I hate that figure.
Fair.
I think it's a terrible figure.
I really like her.
Yeah, I have a slight issue with the titty barbarian look, and that's unnecessarily titty barbarian in my opinion.
About Juno? Juno's as titty barbarian as
there's an exception to every rule, Mal, and she's got blue face paint, and shaved side of the head, and everything. That goes. But
she's more of a titty Viking, no?
Yeah.
There's an important distinction
there. Thwick was very, very close. If I'd needed another Goblin, I'd have gone for Thwick, I think, and again,
between Thwick and Thump, you're definitely Thwick is the better figure for me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And Archimedes, I just don't think we need the Blue Ogre again.
Kurzog, I would have thought they have the big Kurzog for, for Legions Con, that big life-size Kurzog, so I could see him coming back at some point.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Anyway. Right, and then lastly here we have just the Arathir wave. So these are the rare ones, or not the rare ones. I mean, obviously Arathir and Nathan, you could say, but let's disregard them. But these are figures from the Arathir wave that they're getting up on, needing to be reconsidered again for re-release or update or whatever.
Yeah, they were just a bit too new for my thinking. But at the same time, some of these are very desirable, and Magnus still goes for a pretty decent price.
Yeah.
Red Shield Soldier still does.
Yeah.
Belphegor always seems popular. Hadriana is one of the best female figures in the line. So there's some really good figures in this.
I don't think you could improve on these in terms of version 2. So I think
it's too soon,
just a straight release of those again would be perfect.
Unless you had a topless Magnus doing some sort of bodybuilding competition, I think you'd struggle to improve on that one.
Let's leave that one for the customizers. Right. So that's a kind of run through, I suppose, more of what figures are kind of due to be revisited possibly in this year of the 10th anniversary of Mythic Legions.
It's a what could have been wave, isn't it? After the that hashtag gate.
But I hope you still enjoyed the run through, and we can all dream, and we'll see what this brings. But Mal, I believe you've been looking through the group and the different posts, and you've maybe seen some other ideas that might be out there for what this could be.
Yeah. Not going to make any judgment on the ideas. Some I think are better than others. Well. In no particular order. Jason Gaetanis thought he said it could be well, he didn't use these words. I paraphrased.
Yeah, we paraphrased. Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah,
we're not journalists.
Basically, a massive in-stock sale.
Oof.
I don't think they could manage that. That'd be a lot of figures they'd have to be running through the factory.
Oh God, yeah.
I could think more like Exodus. Yeah, if anyone remembers the Exodus sale, it was basically stuff they found at the back of the warehouse.
Yeah.
But it was literally 1 or 2 or 3 of some older figures, so it was a bloodbath.
Which, to be fair, might explain why there's only one Armies of Leodicius. A single figure they found at the back of the warehouse.
They can't be letting people crash their server for 1 or 2 of those.
They wouldn't go to this effort for that. Justin Anderson said, "What about
Friend
a reissue?"
of the show. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, "What about a reissue?" Well, he pointed out that the original Kickstarter was 34 figures.
Yeah.
Can't remember if he then specified what he thought the other two would be. But he said, "What if it's a reissue of the original 36 figures?" I think that's more likely, but
the factions don't match up unless the factions are complete red
yeah.
herring. That's not going to work.
exactly. Well, and then some of them are definitely going to be. But well, we've had version 2s of some of them, haven't we?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Which, and again, it's kind of what you've just done there is a
But it
similar idea.
could be, it could be a re-release of all the ones that haven't been released before, which are up to a certain point, which might
is
make it. Yeah.
kind of what Rich
Yeah.
went through there, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Patrick Boyle. Patrick Boyle's made a couple of suggestions, but one of his main ones was something to do with the book, or I think he also suggested. Oh no, no, take that back. That's Kevin. Aaron Greenbaum suggested it, and I quite like this idea. I'm not sure how the checkerboard fits this, but perhaps it's a graphic novel.
Nice.
I suppose it could be the characters in the story, which I did see someone suggest. Which I think is part of what Patrick's suggestion was.
Yeah. That would be cool, but I don't. That's quite the tenuous link to like a checkerboard pattern and that sort of thing. For that.
Well, it might
Feels like
be,
it, doesn't it?
For a toy line to kind of throw out 2 or 3 weeks worth of teasers and then it's like a book or a comic might be a little bit like, what? Especially for people getting hyped up and excited about getting maybe some older figures or some cool new figures, obviously.
Yeah. I think quite a popular idea was one Kevin M. Boots came up with, which was perhaps we were shown that picture of them. Excuse me, a few of the guys from the studio playing what looked like Dungeons and Dragons or some sort of tabletop game. And we know that there were minis started to be produced for Legions. So could this finally be it? Could we be getting the tabletop game, the minis? Which again, that feels quite possible, doesn't it? That feels like
that would fit. If you're looking at 36 characters, obviously the price of a mini compared to the price of a full figure, is much more palatable, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, it just comes back to why is there only one Armies of Odysseus? That's the big thing I keep coming back to.
Yeah,
for me.
I was trying to find a picture earlier of the minis. I remember Kurzog was one of them, but I couldn't find a picture of the rest. I think they showed like 5 or 6 different ones painted up.
Yeah, they had a troll in there. I remember Troll.
They had a troll as well, did they? Okay.
Yeah. And Will White sort of said he'd wondered about some kind of tabletop rule book, which fits with the Dungeons and Dragons thing. Just going back to Patrick Boyle, he'd sort of put a post up about highlighting he was trying to think of the different mysteries. I can't remember the different mysteries he mentioned, but the one that came to mind for me, again, because it's got that one member of the army of Odysseus, is something to do with Attila and his hammer going missing. If it's something to do with mysteries. Could that be combined with a game?
It'd be like a detective drama with Attila interviewing all these different people from different factions. Did you steal my hammer? Did you steal my hammer? Where were you when it went missing?
Perhaps it's like Cluedo. No, not Cluedo because that's murder mystery, but something like like that with a hammer. Various people. Oh, right, yeah. So sorry, I said Justin Anderson earlier. He must have been the first person I'd seen do it, but there were a few other people who mentioned about something to do with a reissue of the original Kickstarter wave.
Fair.
Chap called Daniel Badjo suggested it was another book. So something to do with the book is a popular one. A final one I saw that sort of, and I quite like this one, although I don't think it will be. Randy Christian, a Mythic Legions quilt.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. I really like that one.
I'm not a quilt person, but I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Totally, yeah. Just hang it on your walls or something, wouldn't you? But yeah, so they were the main ideas I saw that that sort of mentioned maybe a couple of times or prominently from other people. But have we got any? I've got an idea. Have you guys got any
Well,
thoughts? If
I'll
it's not
just-
All Stars, what it might be?
I have some other fun ones that came out. Len LaGuardia said, "This is how many factions must make sacrifice to give rise to a dragon." Maybe it's fun. Maybe it's
maybe.
actually just true.
In that case, add more noble bear characters in quick.
Maverick
Never
thinks,
going to let it go. Sorry.
Maverick thinks it's something to do with the Brady Bunch. Lots of people are saying it's going to rock their wallet. So I think that's... we even got into some conversations about sobbing wallets. I wonder where that came from.
T-shirts still available, folks. T-shirts still available.
It is. There'll probably be some more at Legions Con this year.
And then I also saw one a board game, maybe, but I think a tabletop game would be more.
Yeah.
Right, guys.
Tabletop game.
Hit us up for what you think eventually this could be. Rich.
My first one is a slightly crazy one, and it was a 36 head pack.
Oh.
So, I mean, you could have lots of repainted heads. I'm not suggesting 36 new sculpts, but with a fair few new sculpts chucked in there as well. And they've aimed it at the particular factions. So, hence, you've got the factions labeled there, sort of thing. So, there might be a demon head. Well, you can use that with Arathir normally and that sort of stuff. I mean, I think it'd probably be a bit too expensive tooling-wise, but that's a late night show edition, John, though, the 36 Wang pack. Yeah.
Very good.
Beep. Oh, it's too late.
I wonder how Apple
bit too late there,
podcasts
Mal,
are going to just transcribe this. Right. Anything else?
I have, but I'll let Mal go next. Mal, you said you had a couple, didn't you?
I've only really got one idea. And I was like, what if
Single track mind.
what if the squares aren't characters, but the chances of getting a character in that faction? So,
wow,
your chance of getting someone from Legions of Arathir, not Legions of Arathir, Armies of Leodisius is 1 in 36, and so on. And I don't know how they'll utilise that, but in some Mysteries of Mythos made me think of maybe some sort of mystery box.
Okay.
Whether that's actual figures or minis. Again, we go back to the minis, maybe mini mystery boxes, because they're very popular at the moment. Something like that, maybe.
Yeah, mystery boxes could be fun. I think it would be a whole new thing for them, though. So yeah, I'm not so sure about that, but
no.
But again, it's a possibility.
Isn't it?
Rich, what
Sorry,
else?
guys, I had to go quiet there because my family came in and put the microwave on, which is always helpful when you're in the middle of the podcast.
So you've got the gerbils?
The gerbils, yeah,
and the microwave,
and the microwave going, yeah.
I see a solution to the water drinking problem.
Yeah.
So no
animals were hurt during this recording.
Absolutely no. I wholeheartedly disagree putting animals in a microwave.
Absolutely, me too. It was only looking for cheap laughs.
I mean, I shouldn't have to say that out loud, but just to clarify, I wholeheartedly disagree.
See, this is the problem with the world. We have to explain everything in case somebody gets offended, and still somebody will get offended. So, anyway,
children, yes, animals, no.
So my thought, and I had this just before the podcast, which is why I was like 3 or 4 minutes late dialing in because I was still writing down the characters.
You could do that while looking at us.
It's difficult. You two are so attractive that I can't concentrate on 2 things at once. So it's like, mystery prizes.
Mystery prizes.
So there'd be a different Mythic Legions figure behind each panel.
Okay.
And you can pay to enter if they want to give the money to charity, or they just do it as a giveaway sort of thing, pay shipping or whatever it is.
Wow.
And they've got loads of really rare figures. So the one Army of Leodisius would be an Otho, inbox Otho that they've got. You could have a Savalgard as one of the Etheron characters, that sort of stuff. And they've literally got one each of these that they've dug out of their own collections or whatever sort of thing. And to celebrate 10 years, they're going to start giving them away.
To raise money for
That's
charity.
interesting.
Could do raise money for charity, or just get people to pay the shipping costs, or whatever the original price was, or something like that.
Wow.
I mean, you could, in an ideal world, you could like really go, it could be an Urzok, an Urku, like a snag available, a gold skeleton for congregation, an Aetheron maybe to go with a Savalgard for Aetheron, a Joran, you could have a Xylona for the flock, all these like a Thord, a Halmir, even a Rhaegor, all really sort of, you're not going to get them again, or not in the same format, or it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars.
Gotcha.
So that's what I was thinking, maybe because it's that checker pattern. And again, there's only the one army of Leodicius. And, we've had all those figures relatively recently or redone, with the exception of Otho.
Very good. And Nels?
No, that was it for me.
Very good. I haven't a clue. I did the presentation. There you go. That's my prep. Very good. Well, next week all will be revealed. So have you anything else for this week, boys?
That's it from me.
Yeah.
No, I think that's it from me.
All
Other than
right.
I'm getting a slow drip feed of G.I. Joe classifieds coming in.
Oh, yeah. So maybe this Saturday, look out for our socials. Maybe we'll have a live stream. We're about to discuss it now.
Yep.
All right. Take it easy.
Stay safe, everyone. Don't stress about what the things behind the boxes could be too much.
No. We'll be back next week with the answer. Or maybe not.